Just having a bit of a think. If I was to buy Acqua di Parma Colonia Essenza, Creed Aventus, Dior Sauvage, Paco Rabanne Invictus, and Calvin Klein Obsession, how much would all that cost? I haven't got a Scooby, but I do have some Scooby snacks. So yes, good afternoon. It feels a long time ago I smelt this fragrance, but of course I'm back stealing my brother's fragrances while he's at work, and one that he bought a little while ago, and it seems to have lasted a bit of the test of time, which is not very common with Lush fragrances, certainly not their collaboration sense, is this one here, Scooby Snacks. Now, of course, it's a reference to Scooby-Doo, and I was a little bit critical about it when I first smelt this one, as I've been a bit critical of collaboration scents. The reason for that, and obviously we'll talk about it in a bit more detail today, I tend to think they up the price, and they actually tend to copy the smell of some fragrances, and this one I found copied the smell a little bit of Yognog. So has it changed my opinion? Am I going to change my opinion a little bit more on this one today, considering this one is a slightly more expensive fragrance being a collaboration? So that's what we're going to look at. If you haven't seen these before, a fitness fragrance review, essentially I'm going to go for an afternoon walk. It's not so nice out there today, but I'm still going to go for it. Hopefully it's not going to rain, super windy, but we're going to rank it on 5 categories. We'll look at its price / value for money. We'll look at its versatility, just how much you can use it in different situations. We'll look at its projections, how much I'm noticing it during my walk. We'll look at its compliment factor. Do I think people will say nice things about it if you're wearing it? And also its longevity. So near the end of my walk, how much can I still detect the fragrance? Is it still lasting on my clothing, on my skin, where I've applied it? So what I'm going to quickly do before I do all that, I'm going to go into the note breakdown about this fragrance and just tell you a little bit more about this Scooby-Doo collaboration scent. So as I just touched upon, I've said that Yognog and Scooby Snacks smell quite similar, and to be honest, my opinion hasn't changed. Obviously, we'll go into the scent and what it smells like in a bit more detail through the walk today. But actually, when I looked at this one and looked at the ingredients of this, the notes are not the same at all. This one, Yognog's got clove and yang yang in it. But I've looked at the ingredients on the back of this one, and obviously the ones listed on the computer here, and it doesn't list those notes, and it's not on the ingredient list. So even though it's a similar vibe, there obviously is some differences, even if they said the overall smell is similar. But what is in this one is vanilla, cinnamon, benzoin, which is in a lot of fragrances now. Again, these sort of caramel vanillic scents all seem to have benzoin in. Sort of ties the fragrance together, prevents it being too harsh. Bergamot, so a little bit of freshness here in the opening. A caramel accord, and then a buttery biscuit accord, which is probably just a combination of the notes I've just listed essentially. But let's spray a bit on. I'm actually going to spray it on my top underneath because I probably won't wear this hoodie on my wall. And yeah, you do get a bit of that bergamot. You do get a bit of this nice fresh citrus opening, which you don't get so much in Yognog. But there's almost this pininess about it. It's like booziness almost. That's what I get. Almost again, Christmas time, sitting by the Christmas tree, maybe with a bit of wine. It's not necessarily a wine accord that I'm getting, but definitely something boozy in this that I really like. But definitely again a pininess, a slight spice, which I assume is just that combination of maybe the bergamot and the cinnamon joining together. And then, of course, you do get that biscuity sweetness mainly in the background. The more sort of prominent notes, vanilla, benzoin, caramel. And, of course, they're the ones that you're going to detect as the fragrance develops because they're the heavier notes. And that's what they're wanting here. It's in the name, Scooby Snacks. It's meant to be that biscuity smell. And, yeah, it's very pleasant. I wouldn't know if that's what Scooby do or, all these collaboration sets are trying to aim for, but it doesn't have that gimmicky feel about it. It's slightly more grown up than I was expecting. Again, I think of Scooby being a bit of a younger, more juvenile scent. That's not what I'm getting from this. So, yeah, interesting one. But what we're going to do, we're obviously going to head out for a walk now. We're going to do those 5 categories. So we'll look at the price value for money first. And yeah, I cannot wait. I'm looking forward to wearing this one. It's perfect for a day like today because it is a little bit chilly. Speaking of Scooby snacks, I think it's safe to say buttermints are definitely mine. I'm always eating them when I'm out for a walk. I never don't have one in my pocket, which is mad, isn't it, really? No wonder my teeth are bad. But let's talk about price / value for money then for Scooby Snacks by Lush, the Scooby-Doo collaboration scent. Well, let's start with the bad. Look, obviously I've got it on now, and it still smells to me 90% the same as Yognog. And Yognog isn't quite as expensive as this, so it's still something I don't like. As someone who's into fragrances, I feel like I'm being ripped off if I get this one, particularly if I've got Yognog in my collection. I wouldn't buy them both because they both literally do smell very, very similar. as I touched upon, maybe the bergamot just makes Scooby Snacks slightly lighter, but I wouldn't particularly detect it. But I think we do have to mention the notes are different in this one, so it's not like they've literally copied it, same for same essentially. It's not a complete identical fragrance. And at the end of the day, is it still a nice fragrance? Yes, it smells lovely. It's a lovely butterscotch biscuit. Again, there does feel like sort of pininess in the background, but it's mass pleasing and it's got good performance as well, which we'll touch on a little bit more later. So in terms of its price, so it's £35 online. Do I think that's bad? Not at all. It's certainly, if I'd never smelt this scent before, I'd say the quality of this certainly justifies that as well. And to be honest with you, even if you did have Yog Nog, and let's say you're buying it as a gift and you're torn between Yog Nog and this, but the person you know loves Scooby-Doo, I would happily pay that little bit extra to get this fragrance, £35, because yes, while it's a little bit more than their general body spray prices, it's a bit more of a unique gift for somebody like Scooby-Doo. What else are you going to buy them? And for someone who's a little bit older, it's just quite a nice little thing, isn't it? It's a little bit gimmicky, but it's a talking point, and that's what I like about this, that they've done collaborations with Shaun the Sheep, they've done collaborations with Wicked, they've certainly done one with Mario before, so it does add that little bit of extra fun, let's say, which is, again, that's what Lush are meant to be. They are a little bit more fun, a little bit gimmicky, and I do think then that extra £3 or £4 you have to pay to get this collaboration, then in that sense it's worth it. But for someone who's maybe into their fragrances like myself, who just really is only interested in the scent, personally I wouldn't go for it, because again, I know what Yog Nog smells like and I think it's exactly the same really. So for that reason, I'm going to be a little bit nicer than I was going to be originally, or certainly I would have been if I'd done this review a few months ago. Now I've sat and thought about it, I'm going to give it, we'll go 9 out of 10, because ultimately it's a good fragrance. It is a very nice fragrance, very mass pleasing, and I think it justifies that price. It's just the fact, I said, if Yog Nog didn't exist, I'd probably give it a 10. That's how good it is. So I'm giving a high score more based on the fact it is a high quality scent, and I do like the gimmicky side of it. I do like these collaborations, and yeah, it's a unique fragrance. It's still got its uniqueness in its own right, within its own brand, maybe not, but in the fragrance community, I can't think of anything else that smells like this. Moving on to versatility, how much can you dress this one up, dress this one down, different ages, different occasions, different seasons, all those things. Well, the thing I do like about this one, and it's the same with Yog Nog, I think this has got a bit more of a masculine edge. Look, a lot of Lush body sprays, a lot of Lush products tend to be leaning more towards women. Let's be honest, they're more fruity, they're more sweet, and yeah, a little bit more juvenile essentially. But this one is very different. It's a bit more grown up. Again, there is a slight boozy vibe, that pininess that smells in this gives it that more masculine edge. I'm not saying a woman couldn't pull this one off again, because it's still got your caramel, your vanilla notes that are in women's fragrances, but that extra sort of pininess, that booziness, definitely gives it that masculine vibe, which I really like. I really enjoy personally. Look, it's definitely more of a winter scent. I feel like it's Christmas Day with the family. That's what I feel with this one. It's quite a cozy scent in its own right, but you could dress this one up as well, which is not what a lot of Lush fragrances have, to be honest with you. A lot of them are much more casual wear. I think this one's got enough depth and enough complexity about it where you could wear this one with a suit. Look, would I choose it? No, I think I'd rather have a more smoky scent, maybe a bit more leather in this. Maybe would have just given it that extra edge, but it's very nice, it's very pleasant, and I think it's pretty versatile in those winter months. So I'm not going to wear it to the gym or anything like that, but in the office, job interviews, no problem at all. And even just at home, as I said, on Christmas Day with the family, I think it'll be absolutely perfect. It can be your winter signature scent, absolutely fine. And again, for £35, if you can get a signature scent for the winter, that's great. But I definitely want a summer fragrance, a sweeter, more citrusy fragrance, let's say, to get me through those summer months, because it's definitely not one for those summer hot days. So for that reason, versatility, I'm going to give it 7.5. Again, it is really perfect for the winter. If I only had to have one fragrance for the winter, Scooby Snacks could be that. But I think I'm definitely going to want something else just to complement that for those warmer days. But other than that, dress it up, dress it down. 30 and up is probably where I'd probably say it's best, but it could work for any ages. Plenty of recognisable notes, cinnamon, vanilla, caramel. It's easy to pull off if you like these type of fragrances. So yeah, pretty good score still. It's doing well so far. Before I talk about projection, I do want to actually praise the fact the name of this, even though it's a collaboration scent, kind of actually goes with the scent of the fragrance, because I think it'd be quite hard with collaborations. Let's say, again, I know they've done one with Mario and Luigi, and I sort of think, how could you make a smell like Mario or Luigi, for example? I know they did shower gels in Mario and Luigi, and obviously they were red and green, so it was fitting. But if you were making a fragrance, what would you try and make it smell like? But this one, they've done a good job, because, again, being Scooby-Doo, they've called it Scooby Snacks, and it does have that biscuit smell. And at the moment, in terms of projection, it is pretty strong. It's going to be one that I do think fills up a room. You know, if you've been in like a small, I mean, we've got a very small toilet at home, and I'll be honest with you, I sprayed quite a lot of this a minute ago before I applied it. I went back upstairs just to close the window, and I could still smell the fragrance just lingering in that room. So it'll fill up quite a small room. I don't think it's quite as heavy as like a sticky dates, for example, or a rose jam or anything like that. But if anyone's sitting next to you and you've sprayed this 5-6 times, they're going to notice it. I think if you're sitting in a room, this one will definitely fill up a room as well. I don't think it's one that you're going to notice it in passing, but again, it's not that sort of scent where you want to be wearing it if you're on the go. I think it's much more one of those that you want to fill up a room, and I think it would be better in that job rather than if you're running errands. I don't think it'd be noticed so much. I don't think it leaves a real trail, let's say. I think it's going to be more one that fills a room if you've been sitting in it for a while. And it's mass pleasing, but it's easy to pull off. I wouldn't feel worried about this projection being too strong for other people. I think it hits the sweet spot, and I reckon it's going to it's going to be within your scent bowl for a good couple of hours anyway. So projection's very good. Again, I'll put that down to the fact that Lush always use high quality oils, and they've certainly done that again here. Plenty of natural oils. When you look on the ingredients in the back, they're very natural bergamot, natural vanilla. That's exactly what I want with this, and I think that lends itself to better projection. Again, they're sweeter, darker notes, and that means you're going to get that probably extra projection and extra longevity with this fragrance. So what do I give it as a score? I'm going to give it a 9. Look, it's not super heavy, super beast mode, but again, I don't necessarily want it to be. I think it's about right. But if you really want to buy one for absolute beast mode, this probably wouldn't be the Lush one I'd get. I'd still stick with your rose jabs, your sticky dates for that extra performance. Okay, so moving on to compliment factor for Scooby Snacks. Do I think this is a compliment getting fragrance? Yes, I do, but I don't think it's a showstopper scent. And what I mean by that is I wouldn't choose it for a date night. I wouldn't say it's a seductive fragrance at all. Look, you may look at the note breakdown and see caramel, vanilla, benzoin and go, that sounds perfect for those occasions. But I do think the spice from the cinnamon alongside that bergamot has just toned that sweetness down, and it just makes it more wearable for every day rather than a night out fragrance, a seductive type scent. And look, that makes it great in its own right. You can wear this one to the office. I think it'd be absolutely fine. It's got a uniqueness about it, which we've touched upon. I can't think of many fragrances that smell like this, and you will get good comments in that right. People will remember you for that reason. Now, I actually think where this would work actually really well is a job interview. I think job interviews would be perfect for this scent because of that uniqueness, because it smells different to anything else. I remember when I grew my hair out when I had a job interview once, because I had an afro at the time. My mum said, don't cut your hair because it will make people remember you. And I did get that job as well, so maybe the afro did make people think, oh yeah, do you remember the boy with the afro? Yeah, he was really good, and gave him the job. And I think that's what you could get with this scent. It's one of those I think will leave a lasting impact because it's got good performance. People will remember you. Oh, do you remember that guy who smelled really nice? He seemed really approachable. I think he'll really fit well in the team. It's just that extra thing that people can remember you by. And I think that's where this one would thrive best, rather than being those date night type of fragrances, those seductive scents. So if you're looking for something like that, again, a signature scent in the winter that's going to make you smell a little bit better than the rest, I think this is perfect. And in that sense, you will get compliments because the performance on this, the projection so far, has been really good. So I'm going to say for compliment factor, we'll go 8.5. Again, if you want something a little bit sweeter, which tends to be what people go for, a blue fragrance, this isn't it. But if you want something a little bit different, make you stand out from the crowd, this one does it without being too seductive, but it will leave a good impression, and that's all I really want for compliments anyway. Now, I've not got my hood up because I'm cold. I've actually got it up because it has been raining. I'll be honest with you, because of that, I'm absolutely baking. I'm sweating under this. But in terms of longevity, it's been an hour and a half. And I don't need to reach for it at all, to be honest with you. I can smell it under my collar. It's about 80% as strong as when I applied it that hour and a half ago. So what do I give as a score for this? Look, do I think it would get me through the day? Yes, I do. Whether I'm at work, whether I'm, just at home, I'm sure this one's going to last at least 4 or 5 hours. I think people would still mention it. 6, 7 hours, I think it would start to fade, but I think you'd still notice it in your own scent bubble. And that's more than enough. Look, I think if I was doing a job where I'm going inside, outside, hot, cold, getting hot and bothered at times, yeah, it may not potentially last as long. But I also think the longevity of this isn't super strong to the point that you think, I've got to wash that one off. I think it hits the exact sweet spot. Look, Lush fragrances, sometimes they smell really strong in the opening, and when I've been doing workouts, they seem to fade quicker than I think, particularly after I've had a shower. But I think with this one, if you use it for what you're meant to use it for, not for running, not for doing any of these workouts that I do, it's going to last that 7, 8 hours, and that's perfect for longevity. For some people, this may be too much. For people who like strong scents, I think it's bang on. I think it's exactly where I'd want it to be. And for that reason, I've got to give it a good score. If I had this on a hoodie, for example, I sprayed this on my hoodie, didn't wear it for 3 or 4 days, I think I'd still pick up the fragrance on that hoodie. So for that reason, I'm going to give it a 9 out of 10. It's really strong. It's really strong. Again, the notes in it, when you look, caramel, cinnamon, they are those more wintry based notes. So I do expect that bit of extra performance compared to maybe a light citrus, and that's great. Again, high quality oils, you can easily detect that, and I think that lends itself to a bit more staying power as well. So yeah, 9 out of 10. I think if you're looking for something that's going to last a long time, that £35 mark, I can't think of better than Lush. Their atomizers are huge, which certainly does help as well. But when I think of other brands that charge around £30 for their fragrances, I think Lush do it better in terms of longevity and projection. This one's absolutely stellar. So yeah, 9 out of 10 for this round. So there we are, that is it for today. And based on the 5 rounds we looked at, so price value for money, versatility, projection, compliment factor, and longevity, what did Scooby Snacks get as a total score? It's done really well. It's got 43 out of 15. You probably noticed every time I got to a score, I kind of went, and I think a lot of that is because I'm almost looking for a reason to mark it down, just because I see it as yog dog. It just smells like yog dog. But actually, when I'm sort of trying to give it a total and trying to be objective with this, I can't fault it. It is still a lovely scent. It's a lovely fragrance, and the fact, again, if someone likes Scooby-Doo, this would be a great gift. It really would be a great gift. So it's not necessarily redundant for most people. It's just redundant, I feel, like, if you've got the Yog Nog in your collection. And I believe 43 is the same score I gave for Freshly Ever After, which I reviewed the other day. And that could be your summer scent, Freshly Ever After, because it's that lovely crisp apple. And this could be your winter one. So if you just wanted 2 fragrances, they'd be perfect. They would be really, really good scents. And I absolutely love them. I'm hoping that Freshly Ever After will come back. And look, at the moment, Scooby Snacks still seems to be around. So if you're someone who's a Scooby-Doo fan, I definitely recommend it. But I believe this DNA isn't going to go away anytime soon. I believe they'll definitely keep Yog Nog or this in some capacity, because it is a lovely fragrance. It's mass appealing, and I'm sure they put this scent in this fragrance because they know people like Yog Nog as well. And Yog Nog stuck around. I think it might have even been limited edition at one point, but it certainly did go away for a while, and it came back, and for good reason. I absolutely love this scent. I cannot fault it. It's £35. I don't think you're getting ripped off with this one at all. It's still an amazing fragrance, and maybe one day I'll get this one. But if you're a fragrance enthusiast, if it's all about just buying the fragrance for the pure smell of it, I don't think you need to worry about getting this one. I still stand by that. But if you're someone who just wants a little bit of a gimmicky thing, maybe you're a Scooby-Doo fan, go for it. It's worth that extra investment, I think, as well. But yeah, I hope you've enjoyed this one today. Fingers crossed I beat the rain before I get back, but there'll be plenty more reviews coming up. I'm planning to do a few more quizzes. The quizzes might be, well, there might be a quiz out before this video comes along, but there'll definitely be more coming as well in the near future, because I know some of you like those ones. But yeah, thank you very much for watching. Catch you later.